Hello, fourth grade, and welcome to topic 6. In this topic, we are going to be working on using operations with whole numbers to solve different kinds of problems. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with our lesson 6-1 on solving comparison problems. Let's go ahead and watch our short video, and then we'll get into our guided practice and our examples together.
Max said the Rangers scored 3 times as many runs as the Stars. Jody said the Rangers scored 8 more runs than the Stars. Could both Max and Jody be correct? How are Max and Jody's statements alike? How are they different? Both statements are about finding the number of runs that the Rangers scored. Max states how many times as many runs the Rangers scored as the Stars, whereas Jody states how many more runs the Rangers scored than the Stars.
You can use multiplication and addition to compare the number of runs made by each team.
How can you use a bar diagram to show 3 times as many as 4?
Okay, now here, be very careful with the wording that they're using in the problem. So one of them was comparing it using multiplication terms. She said 3 times as many. And then the other one was telling you how many more. Remember, when we say how many more, we're talking about adding a number on. So if I tell you that they got 5 more, you're adding 5 to your original number. If I tell you they got 5 times as many, you're going to be multiplying by 5.
Let M equal the runs scored by the Rangers according to Max. Show 3 rectangles of 4. What operation can you use to solve this comparison? You can use multiplication. M equals 3 times 4, so M equals 12 runs. According to Max, the Rangers scored 12 runs. You can compare with addition. How can you use a bar diagram to show 8 more than 4?
So here we have our 2 bar diagrams. This one shows the multiplication. So this is, if each one of these is a group of 4, we would have 4 in each one. If we're showing an addition, we have the original 4 that they had plus 8 more that they got. So they started with this 4, and then they had 2 more groups of 4 that they added onto it. And we know that 2 groups of 4 is equal to 8.
Let J equal the runs scored by the Rangers according to Jody. Show a rectangle of 4 and a rectangle of 8 joined together. What operation can you use to solve this comparison?
Select your answer.
You can use addition. J equals 8 plus 4. According to Jody, the Rangers scored 12 runs. Both Max and Jody are correct.
Apologies, guys. I didn't realize my mic was still on when I was coughing. Let's go ahead and jump into our notes and our guided practice questions together. Now for 6-1, we're talking about solving comparison problems. So how can you use addition and multiplication to help you compare numbers? Just like we saw in our example, you can use either multiplication or addition to solve these problems. You can use both to check your work. So our example question here says, Sarah is making a square pillow. We know right away that if it's a square pillow, that it's going to be the same length on all sides. Each edge of her pillow measures 18 inches long. So we're going to annotate our question as we go through it. She needs 4 times as much fabric as the length of one edge. So 4 times as much. And then our question is asking us, how long does the fabric need to be? And we'll let F equal the fabric that's needed. So we'll use the variable F. We'll use that as the letter to show however much we're going to need. So if we know that it's a square, that means it's going to be 18 on all sides. So how can we solve this problem using multiplication? Well, if we know that the fabric needs to be 4 times as long as one of the sides because it needs to go around all 4 sides, we can say 4 times the length of one side, which is 18, is equal to F. Now I can stack and multiply these so that I find my answer. 4 times 8 is 32. I put my 2 over here. I add my plus 3 on top. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 more is 7. So this tells me that she needs 72 inches. So we said it's 18 inches long on each side. Make sure you are always adding your units when you're working. Now, how can we solve this using addition? Well, we can say 18 plus 18 plus 18 plus 18 because it needs to go around all 4 sides of her pillow. And if each side is 18 inches, that means we need to add 18 4 times. Or if you're using a bar diagram, you can do 18 in all 4 of those sections. And then we can stack and add. 18 plus 18, 8 and 8 is 16. Plus another, do 36 plus another group of 18. And then our 54 plus that last group of 18. And we end up with the same thing. We end up with 72 inches at the end. So I added 18 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Let's go ahead and take a look at another example, another way that we can solve using multiplication and addition. So if I said Farah has 6 times as many stickers as Noura. Noura has 15 stickers. Let F equal the number of Farah stickers. How many stickers does Farah have? Write an equation and solve. So let's go ahead and annotate our question here. So we know Farah has 6 times as many stickers as Noura. Okay. We know Noura has 15 stickers. So if n equals the number of Farah stickers, we're going to underline that because that's important. How many stickers does Farah have? And then we have to write an equation and solve. So if n is the number of stickers that Farah has, we're going to do 15 times 6 to find the number of stickers that Farah has. So I can stack it over here and multiply to find my answer. 5 times 6 is 30, put my 0, carry my plus 3 up there. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 more is 9. So I found out that Farah has 90 stickers. So I wrote my equation, n, the number of stickers, is equal to 15 times 6, and I found out that n is equal to 90 after I stacked and solved. Now, what I could have done also is I could have added 15 6 times. I could have created a bar diagram with 6 boxes in it and put 15 in each one of those boxes and put them together to find my answer. Let's go ahead and take a look at your guided practice questions. It says, if the Rangers scored 5 times as many runs as the Stars, how many runs would the Rangers have scored? Compare using multiplication, write and solve an equation. So we annotated already, 5 times as many runs, and the question, how many would they have scored? Write and solve an equation. So I know from the information that was on that page that the Stars scored 4 runs. So if I use R to equal the number of runs that the Rangers got, 5 times as many. So 5 times the 4 runs that the Stars got will tell me how many runs the Rangers got. 5 times 4 is equal to 20. So the Rangers scored 20 runs. For part B, it says, how can you use addition to compare runs for the two teams? So I know if they scored 5 times as many as 4. So this is their original run. This is the Stars' original run, plus 4 more groups is going to equal 20. So those 4 groups together, when I add these together, 4 times 4 is 16. I can say that the Rangers scored 16 more runs than the Stars. So 16 plus 4 is equal to 20. For question number 2, it says Sam's baseball team has 4 times as many helmets as Ed's team. Ed's team has 21 helmets. So we have to figure out the number of helmets that Sam's team has. So over here, we see that H is equal to the number of helmets on Sam's team. So H is equal to the 21 helmets times 4. So 21 times 4, when you do the multiplication, you're going to get 84. Now for question number 3, pay close attention to the words that they're using. It says there are 128 more trees in the park than in Ty's house. There are 3 trees at Ty's house. Let T equal the number of trees at the park and solve. So if it's 128 more, not 128 times as much, but 128 more, that means we're adding 128 to the number of trees that he has. So 128 plus 3. So T is equal to 128 trees plus the 3 trees that he has at his house will tell us how many are at the park. 128 plus 3 is equal to 131. We know that that even though Ty's house only has 3 trees, the park has 131 trees. So you've seen different ways that we use multiplication and addition to compare and find our answers to these different kinds of problems. Remember to always annotate your question, underline the question part, circle your numbers and important information, and then tackle it one step at a time. Don't try and do everything all at the same time. Go slow, figure out what you know, and then pace yourself to figure out the steps you need to follow. That's it for this lesson, 4th grade. If you have any questions on solving comparison problems, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.